Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee with Kyra. Today, we are joined by, honestly, someone I'm so excited to have on because she is a fellow Love Islander. She is a fellow bisexual, and she is someone that has just brought, once again, queer representation to, I think, a very hetero show, which is so important and so special and brave to do, I think. So, but yeah, you guys have tagged me a bunch in like different posts and stuff with her, and I'll speak about it. This is the longest intro ever, but this is Johnnie from season 5 of Love Island. Talking to this mama girl.
Hi.
But yeah, I just really wanted to have you on because I remember people were like tagging me in a bunch of posts after your season, and I was like, why the are they tagging me with Johnnie from season 2, especially like with my history with Selly and stuff, and it just didn't make sense. But then I started seeing like snippets of your season, and I was like, oh, there was a girl named Johnnie. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, and she's bisexual. It's all coming together.
No, the amount of times I've been tagged in anything regarding like Kyra, everything I post, they're like, you should meet Kyra. I think you get along with Kyra. Like anything that I do, they're like, Kyra. And I never watched her season, and I did see you go on games. Like I remember when you went on games, I was like, that's who Kyra is. Like I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense. And I only watched like TikToks of games. I didn't watch like...
Same with your season. Like I've seen videos and try to do more research before today just to like get to know you more. But we've been talking for a minute because my brother was setting up, and I'm like, it makes so much sense because we are very similar, both very like outspoken, and both in the queer community. So I was so excited to have you on. But yeah, but I love to start every podcast just with like a wellness check. Like, how are you feeling in this moment, mentally, all that jazz?
I feel good. I feel like since the show, my mental health has gotten so much better. But like coming out,
how long has it been since you came out?
It's been since August. Okay. Yeah, the end of August. I came out in the end of August, and you know, when you come out, they don't prepare you for how bad your mental health is gonna be after.
It's bad.
I'm having a fucking panic attack right now. I need to calm the fuck down because I'm having a panic attack.
I mean, they do talk about it. Like, they talk about, like...
Do you want to move it a little bit for you?
Yeah, honestly. I'm like... Thank you. Yeah. Sorry, that's my bad. No, but I feel like, you know, they did tell me a little bit. They're like, you know, how is your mental health right now? Can you handle things like this, you know? And you think that it's only, like, the outside public persona and, like, their opinions and everything that's going to affect you. And it's not. It's like, you feel so many different things coming out of it. Like, you don't understand, like nobody understands unless you've been in it.
100%.
At all.
It's a whole different world, and I think that's why a lot of us stay friends on the outside sometimes because it's like no one else has gone through this, so no one else can really understand what you're going through when you come out. And I mean, I still sit with stuff to this day, especially once you get a following and people are just like so involved with every aspect of your life. And we were even saying this earlier too, of like just being women and going on a show, and you know, in general, you're going on a project and maybe you lose weight, or you're tinier than, or you're bigger than, and then all of a sudden you come out and say your body even changes. Like everyone is commenting on everything.
Yeah. And I know that it was also like a show about your love life, but I've never felt so much pressure about who I date and who I'm talking to than now, that it makes you not want to talk to anyone because there's so many outside like opinions. Like when I came out of the show, I didn't really date much, but there was somebody that I was dating for a little bit, and people kind of got an inkling of it, and they were commenting on like all of his stuff, on my stuff, on this stuff,
like
and like
you, like they thought you went in with someone already.
No. When I came out of the show and like was like dating, like
because people do that too. They literally go on like Love Island and they have girlfriends or boyfriends back at home, and I'm like, that is freaking crazy to me.
No, that's insane. That's insane. That's insane.
I cannot believe my eyes.
No, it was when I got out of the show, and that was the first time I've ever talked to someone seriously out of the show. Yeah. And I remember like at first it was funny, but then like it got to the point where people were like, you could do better, he could do better, like things like that, little jabs like that, and it was like it put a lot of pressure on it right away, and I kind of was like, ooh, I don't know if I'm ready for this right now. Like, and I was like, I've never had experience like somebody else's opinion affecting if I want to talk to somebody anymore.
And that's hard too. Like even the way of like shipping, like I've gotten tagged and stuff with you of like, you guys should, you know, this and that. And I'm sure even with Cassie, but we're going to get into all of that. In general, I do want to speak on, so you're bisexual.
Yeah.
When did you come out, or when did you realize that you liked women?
So honestly, it happened when I was really young. My brother, he's trans. He has always been very open about acceptance and helping all of us. Like there's 9 of us. There's 9 siblings.
Wow.
Yeah. And
my brother's like,
yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of us.
That's crazy.
No, there's a lot, and he was the only one that's gay, right? So growing up, we've always known, you know, he's
And your
gay
parents
and
were
he's the
accepting?
oldest, you know? Yeah.
That's
So
good. Okay.
we've always been around it, like always known, you know, that it's okay, this and that, but nobody's ever been gay besides my brother. And he took me to a party once and I think I was like 12. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I was in a relationship though, like with a boy. And he took me to this party and I remember he had this friend, Lauren. And Lauren. Yeah, was my first ever crush, like my first ever crush. And I remember like a girl crush, right?
Yeah.
And I remember thinking to myself, I was really confused. Like I was like, I don't know what this is, but I was just following her around. I was like flirting with her. And then she asked me, she goes, oh, well, are you straight? Are you this? Are you that? And she was a lot older than me. She wasn't into me, but she was like, are you straight? Like, just asking. And I was like,
was she gay?
and she was gay. Oh
Okay,
yeah, she was
so
1,000% gay. Yeah.
So she was already, she's like, I know.
Yeah, and she
Yeah.
was like just asking me about my life, and I was like, and in that moment, in that split second, I was like, I'm bisexual because I wanted her to like me. I wanted her to like, you know,
and
see
it's what
me
you
as
were
like
feeling.
exactly. And
Yeah.
so, and it was the first time I said it. My brother wasn't there at the time though, but I was like, oh okay, that's cool, like this and that, and I just remember thinking, I was like, oh, I wish I wasn't with my boyfriend. Like I was. And I was like,
God damn it.
I was
That
like,
dude that
fuck.
I
I was
have
like,
that I'm committed to right
yeah,
now.
I was like, I wish and I was little. It wasn't a serious relationship,
No, yeah.
but yeah, I remember that was the moment that I realized it. And that whole night, I remember asking that girl too. Like I was like with her, and I was like, "You want to kiss me?" Like everything, yeah. And she was like, "No." Like she was like, "You're little," like you know.
Yeah.
And my brother took me home the next day, and he kind of was like, "So I saw you with Lauren the whole night," and he was like, "Did you like her?" And I was like, "Mm-hmm." And he's
How
like,
much
"It's
older is
okay." My brother is 30, and I'm 26. So I don't know. Sorry, I don't know, Beth.
4 years. 4 years, yeah.
I don't know.
I'm dead. But that's great that he was like someone that you could look up to.
Yeah.
I'm familiar to that too with my dad. He's bisexual. So I always had him to be like, oh, it's okay to do this. And this is someone that I can talk to and they're a safe space. So Lauren was her name?
Yeah.
So you're talking to Lauren, but at the same time, it's like you
R.I.P.
probably, but you probably like with your brother, where you're like, I can talk to him about this and he's going to accept me.
Yeah.
You know?
And so after that, he just let me know. He's like, you know, it's okay if you are. And he's like, it's okay if you like boys too. And I was like, okay, like I can do both, you know? And from then on out, my family, they didn't know really what I was doing. They just knew me as like their wild child. I was always the one dating everyone, kissing everyone, doing this. You know what I mean? Not,
yeah, you already told me you're an Aries.
Yeah.
My first girlfriend was an Aries, and that was it was a joyride.
Like I was just a little bit more promiscuous
Yeah.
than my siblings,
Yeah.
and I was always with guys or girls, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I got into my first relationship, I let him know that I was like, hey, I'm also, you know, into girls too, and he was like, do your thing. So it was a really cool relationship for me because he was like very like
Open.
I don't care if you're, you know, with a girl or this. So there was a lot of times when I'd be like, I'd kiss girls or, you know, and
Did
then
that
I, you know,
last? Because I've been in relationships where I'm with a guy and I'm like, okay, but I would want to maybe have a girl come in or do this and do that. And in the beginning, they're like, yes, it's okay. Because I almost think that they're thinking I'm asking for it or saying it as if it's like a turn on for them. And then like later on in the relationship, when they're like, wait, you really want this, and or you were really into that, and it made me feel insecure. And then all of a sudden, it's like revoked.
Yeah.
Was
so
it
my first boyfriend, no. My first
Okay.
boyfriend, he was so nonchalant. He did not care. But
Yeah.
honestly, we weren't really that in love. So it was like, we were just with
It
each
was
other
like-
for a long time,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And he was like, you know, do your thing. And you want to kiss girls? Like, go kiss girls. He was so like, I don't think he believed really in like bisexual. Like I thought that I think that he didn't think that I really had feelings for women.
Yeah.
And so my next relationship, when I got into that, I came in with that same kind of mindset. Like I was like, oh, I can do this and do that. And I asked him, I was like, hey, would it be cool if like, you know, like I did whatever? And he was like, no, absolutely not. He was like, no. He's like, I already know how you are. He's like, you love hard. He's like, you're going to fall in love with a girl. And he's like,
leave me.
he's like, you know that women are better than men. So
You're right. It's fact.
like, he's like, I just already know. I was like,
Wait, I kind of love him. Like
Yeah.
he sounds like he actually knows what he's talking.
no, yeah, he is. He was so like, he's like, no, hell no. Like he was like,
Yeah.
no. And I was like, okay, I respect that. So I didn't. That entire relationship, I didn't. And then, but I was in a relationship for 7 years and then 5 years. So I didn't really get to experience dating.
Yeah.
You know, so I never
that's
got to go on
crazy.
dates with girls. It was always just like hooking up with girls, you know?
Yeah. But you've had like strong feelings for a girl before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so once I became single, that's when I started being able to date girls and date guys. And that was a lot harder, to be honest.
Dating girls than
Yes,
guys.
like finding girls that like were my type in the sense because I like feminine women.
And you're femme.
And I'm femme.
Yeah.
And feminine women do not like feminine women. Like, oh my God. It wasn't until I came out of Love Island that they did. But like when I was looking for like someone like to like be my soulmate, like I'm like looking around and I'm, you know, on Hinge, everything. And like I have it set to both or whatever.
Yeah.
And the women that I was matching with, I was like, oh my God, I hope that, you know, and the women that were matching with me were just not my type at all. Yes.
Yeah.
And so I was a little bit bummed out. Like I was like, damn, it wasn't until I came out of Love Island when like, you know,
I feel
then feminine women, you know.
I'm similar. I always, which some of my friends say I'm not, but I'm like, I'm STEM, which is like femme and mask. Like I kind of switch up. But like before Love Island, I felt like, yeah, it was more mask girls that always wanted to be with me and stuff like that. And then I came out of Love Island. But it was kind of hard too because I'm on Hinge and all that different stuff too. But I would get a lot of girls that didn't even know if they were into girls, like more bi-curious girls. And they didn't know if they could fully, you know, be like that with me. They were just like, oh, I saw you on the show. And like, if there was a girl that I would do something with, it'd be you.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was annoying and hard, you know?
No, the thing that I get most of my DMs that bothers me is, and it's not bothering in the way that I'm like annoyed with the person. It's just like that, the DM that gets me is, I would be gay for you. Or I would, if I were into girls, it'd be like you could be the one that changes me or something, like things like that, like where it's like kind of joking. I'm like, okay, but you don't really like women. Like I'm not like something like it's or sexualized, maybe, or like it is. It really is like
or
sexualized.
Maybe they're bi-curious and they want to like figure it out. But yeah, even going in Love Island, I wasn't sure if there was even going to be women that were into women. So like going on the show, did you know like how Love Island worked and like what the show was? You know?
So I only watched a little bit of season 4 before going in, and they put on the paper like, are you bi, are you this? And at first I was kind of scared to put bi. I thought they wouldn't put me in. So I put straight on my paper to go in my application.
Season either.
No, I didn't know. I didn't see anybody from season 4 look bi. So I was scared that they wouldn't put me in. So I put straight.
I like you, man. You lie a lot.
Then later on, they had me do another thing, and I just was like, I'm just gonna be honest. And I was like, I put bi because I was like, I don't want it to get where like I don't know. Like I was like, I don't want to get in trouble. You know what I mean?
Well, also just be yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it's like at a certain point, like you don't want to get into a show being something that you're not.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
And so when I went on to the show with the Casa Amor girls, the first thing I did was we were all talking about life and dating, and I was like, well, I just want to make it clear that I'm bi. Like, I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable, like, you know, anything like that. They were all just so supportive, like literally so sweet, so cute. And I was like, hey, none of them were bi, you know? So then they were just like, oh,
you
like,
said
so
no
cute,
one gave me eyes when I said that, so now.
So then when we came into the villa, I was like, okay, I'm going to say it again because I, again, didn't want to make anyone uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh yeah. And I was like, well, I am bi. And everyone was like, again, so supportive, this and that. And then you just see Cassie go, ears perk, like ears perked up. And she goes,
I'm being real with you because I heard about you. I was waiting on you at the door.
so what's your type? Like, she's like, how did you know that? How did you? And she had so many questions about it that I kind of got the vibe, and I was like, nah. I was like, but then it was like, it just kind of gradually built up. But yeah, when I was in the villa, she was the only one that kind of was serious about that, and I can tell like there's just her questions and everything. The other girls, though, they would flirt with me all the time.
Really?
So it was honestly, the villa was just the best place for me. Like, and it was like, I got it from like the guys, and like that was cool. But like the girls were just so funny. Like Imani and Destiny especially, like they ate that up. When I would flirt with them, they ate that
I saw this one clip and it was like you had your legs open and Cassie was like sitting between your legs and Imani was behind you guys, and she's just like doing this now file thing, and you guys are just like sitting there fully flirting. And I think, what did Cassie say? She's like, you're wet.
Oh my God! Wow!
Yeah. And you want to know something? That was on a non-filming day, and we weren't told we were filming yet. So we were waiting. That's why we were just with the girls, right? And I remember she was sitting on the thing, and I was sitting with Imani. Imani and I were having like a little chat, and Cassie comes over, sits over, and I was like, and I like put my legs. I was like, I just put my legs around her, and she was like, oh, whatever. And she put my legs around her, and she was like, oh, like I could just tell, like, you know, she was touching my legs, and then the producers were talking to us about some stuff, and they were sitting with us for a while, and again, like my legs were just like that the whole time, and Cassie was like really comfortable with it, so we're like, okay, whatever. And then that's when like we're like lightly flirting, and I know Imani's just so funny, like Imani's just like so, and it's because we flirted all the time, and people were fed up with it. People were just kind of like offered,
like,
you know,
whatever
like
at this point.
literally
Yeah.
lunch, everything. We were just always like,
But no one took it seriously. They just thought you were like joking around.
Everyone just thought we were just like, everyone just thought Cassie was just more so like overly sexual, like in the sense of like, oh, a girl, like, you know what I mean?
But was she like that with other girls?
Sometimes, but not like to extent of mine.
Yeah.
But that's also how I kind of felt like she was like curious.
No, I think it's always like when, as a queer girl, like when another girl starts asking a lot of questions and like lingering around and just like doing that kind of thing, I always like it's an idea in my mind that I'm like, oh, they're probably trying to figure something out themselves. And they're like, wait, you're a safe space and someone I can try things out with and all that different stuff. But she was bi-curious, right? Yes. At this point, do you know if she's
she's, and you know,
bisexual?
Yes. So she has talked to me, and I won't put her business out there, but she has talked to me about like a girl or some certain girls that she's like been interested in, which is, you know, for me at the time, it was a little bit hard for me to like kind of be like, let me give advice to someone I had feelings for. But I do now, like if she needs advice.
You've been giving her advice on other girls. Okay, so that already answers kind of one of my other questions, but still going back to it, obviously bi-curious girls, they're curious. They don't know if they have those feelings yet, or a lot of the ones that I've dealt with from my experience have said that, like, I think so, but I don't know. Was that a fear of yours when talking to her of like,
oh yeah,
because we both said this a little bit earlier, like we fall hard and like it happens quickly. And I've had girls that I've tried it with and then they're like, okay, yeah, sex is great, this is great, but like I wouldn't be able to marry you one day.
Yes.
Like that's always a fear now of mine when someone's like, I don't know, or I'd only be gay for you, or that kind of thing. Did you have that fear with her of like opening up in there when she didn't know? Yeah.
Yeah, because I had just had that whole thing with Leo where I believed everything and I fell really hard for him and I completely like could only see him just tunnel vision.
Because you were Casa more and with him for like a week without Cassie.
Yeah. And just him. I didn't talk to anyone else. Yeah. I didn't like have anything with anybody else. I didn't even kiss anybody else. Like he was the only person I was with that whole time in Casa More. And then
you were like booed up. Like he was treating you like.
Yeah, I literally felt like I was in a whole relationship. Like that's what it felt like.
In Love Island, all that it takes is a week. I'm pretty sure I fell in love with my guy Cash for my season. By the end of the week, I think I was in love.
Feelings are heightened there like no other. They do not tell you. Like when I was watching, I was like, okay.
There's no way.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah.
The feelings there are like unreal. You sleep with them every night. You're with them 24/7. And then I did calculate it with one of my therapists because I was like, there's no way. Like, you know, and she was like, no. She's like, if you calculate it in the week that you're there, that's already like 30 dates.
Seriously, like maybe you're going on a date once, twice a week with someone that you just meet in there, and the date's for maybe 3 hours. In there, you're 24/7 around the clock. So that, by the end of that first week, if you have someone that you already kind of clicked with.
Yeah. So yeah, I did. I fell hard for him right away, you know, naively believed a lot of things that weren't true. And then when that whole thing ended, I just had my walls up. Like, so I was so guarded and you could see it. Like I wasn't letting anyone in. I know Mattia was trying to get to know me pretty hard. And at the time when he was trying to get to know me, I was just kind of like, I was like, no, I'm not going to like, I'm going to keep getting to know everyone. Like I'm not going to give you my full attention. Yeah. And he had asked me that. He was like, you know, I would like us to get to know each other, just us two. Yeah. He's like, because I'm not getting to know anyone else. I was like, that is your choice, and I think you're a brave soldier for that, but not me anymore. And so you know, I was getting to know him, I was getting to know Scott, I was getting to know Cassie, and when I was getting to know Cassie, she was last because I was getting to know Tia first. Yeah. Then Scott came in. You know, he came in after him, and then him and I were getting to know each other. And then Cassie and I were like flirting with the idea. And it wasn't until she ate chocolate out of my mouth that I was like, yeah.
Was it a game or
no?
It was just random.
It was a random off-camera thing that, you know, one of the producers brought chocolate and we couldn't show it because it had like the, you know, brand on it. And I was like, I took a bite of the chocolate and I said, oh, I can't finish this whole thing. Like I was like, I don't know why I took this whole thing, and I had it in my mouth and I was like, does anyone want the rest of this? And I had it in my mouth and she's like, I'll take it, and literally just bit it out of my mouth.
All right, Cassie.
And that was no, she's bold. Like Cassie, if there's one thing I can say about her, she is bold. Like
you
she
seem
does
bold
not
too though. So I understand how like energy wise, you know, also I think something was so funny. They're like, gay girls love dating people that look like, you know, that whole stereotype. Because you guys do look like you could be sisters. Is that like your girl type is like usually similar?
I didn't think we looked alike, to be honest. When I was in there, I really didn't. And we just got told a lot.
No.
I still don't see
No.
it. Like, and we got told that a lot though. And I was like,
It's
I don't
such,
think I'm
like,
that
a-
conceited, but like maybe.
I
Like,
don't even know if it's a conceited thing. Like people that are straight do it too, where they like date someone that looks like a sibling or something. But I just thought it was so funny because I was seeing this guy.
yeah, no, all the time. Like they were like, of course they would go for each other. They look exactly alike. But you know, all the people, like the girls that I've dated or the girls that I've been into have looked so different each time. But the last person I was with, she was actually a little bit more masculine, but she was very pretty, like just like very pretty face. But it was because it was so hard for me to find like a, you know, a feminine woman that like liked me, you know? But yeah, no, she was pretty bold. And so that's why after she did that, that's when it clicked in my head that I was like, wait a second. I was like, this might be something. And she kept saying out loud, like, what if like we pulled each other for chats, or what if we did this? And I say this all the time, is that I was like, I would have never done it first, ever. Like, I was like, she will do that if she wants to. I was like, but I'm not going to embarrass myself with someone and like be like, okay, yeah, and pull her and then her be like, well, I was just kidding. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was waiting. Like, I was just sitting. It was just a waiting game. Like, I was like, maybe she will, maybe she won't, you know?
Yeah.
And I was still getting to know Mattia and Scott. And she did. She pulled me that day that, you know, it was.
Is that when you guys kissed and everything?
Yeah, she pulled me that day, and it was the day that we were just like building up all day long. And so she pulled me, we go up there and, you know, we kiss. But honestly, that was like, we were pent up a little bit because, you know, the same sex days when we all sleep in the same beds.
Yeah. Did you sleep in the same bed?
So she was like, wouldn't it be cool if like we could sleep in the same bed? And I was like, oh yeah. She's like, you could teach me some stuff. And I was like, oh. I was like,
Cassie!
you could teach you some.
Cassie's
And we're like,
game. What the freak? I'm like getting over here all like.
She would make me nervous, dude.
Yeah.
Like and so I was like, oh yeah, like I'll teach you, you know, whatever. And so we were like flirting all the time. We had our mics on. And then we
the producers
asked,
are sitting there like, we know it's about to happen.
we asked, we're like, can we sleep in the same bed? Like, you know, we're like all joking around. We're like, can we sleep in the same bed? Can we sleep in the same bed? And the producers came in. They're like, okay, you guys can sleep in the same bed, this and that, right? They came back in after she said that. And we're like, Johnnie and Carmen, you're sleeping together, Cassie. Like, we were like, why?
We need this for the TV screens.
No.
This is an off day. Stop it right now. This will make TV gold.
We were so upset. We were like, why? And they're like, just no. They didn't even say anything. They're just like, no.
But you knew why.
Yeah. And we're just like, oh, whatever, you know? And so that's when I like, it just was built up and everyone was like so shocked. They're like, this came out of nowhere. And for everyone else on the show, like that's why nobody was really that shocked.
Yeah.
Like everyone was like, oh yeah. Like they're like, all right, we've been seeing it. The only one that was really shocked too, like was Scott. Like when Scott and I were talking to, he's also from the UK. They're a little bit less like progressive.
I don't know, honestly.
I don't know. He seems like it wasn't used to that. Like he really wasn't used to that. And so when I came down after we kissed, he had saw, and I remember he was like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know if that was an accent. He's like, I'm not gonna lie to you. He was like, that made me take you less seriously. Oh, and I was like, why? I was like, why? And he's like, because how would you feel if I was kissing somebody up there? And I was like,
were you guys like together though? Like serious at that point?
We were not serious at that point. Okay. No, because he was still talking to Cassie and Imani, you know? And so I remember I was like, oh, so then after that, I didn't, I was really careful with Cassie after that, not to do anything kiss wise or like overly, you know? But there was a time too when Cassie and I, and it wasn't shown, but Cassie and I were getting to know each other in like the Riz room. And we were like holding hands, but like playing with each other's hands, right?
I love it.
And I remember we were like talking, but she was talking to me about like how she loves scary movies and this and that. And then Scott walks in to steal me for a chat, and he walks in and he goes, Jesus Christ. He's like, I'm just never gonna get used to this. He's like, get Johnnie.
Because I feel like the guys in these situations, especially, the ones in reality TV, their egos, like there's just something about reality TV guys. But like, once again, so similar to you, like I was talking to a guy, and the second then that like me and Emily from my show would talk, like the guys just didn't know what to do. Or even this past season that I was in, and I was talking to Megan and she was talking to a different guy. They just don't know what to do because they are like, it's a girl. Like, how do I compete with that? That's a completely different thing. But it also isn't. It's just like a connection. But they're all just so in their heads of like, this is either they're like sexualizing it or they're like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know how to react to this. You know?
And that's my biggest pet peeve is when they sexualize it. My biggest turn off is when I mention to a guy that I'm bi and they go, oh, that's great because we can have threesomes. And I'm like, ew.
You're like, that
as
doesn't
if,
mean
like, gross.
Ew, get off of me. Ugh, as if.
Yeah, like maybe you do want threesomes, but just because you're into girls does not mean that you want a threesome.
No, like they make it where it's not like me being romantic. They make it where it's just a sexual thing that they can profit off of.
Like,
and I'm like,
hot.
I'm like, no, like it's not like a me thing. If I was into a girl or whatever and I wanted to bring her in, that's a different story, but that's a serious story. I don't like it when they sexualize it right away and being like, oh, cool. That way we can have threesomes.
Yeah, it's a conversation. It's not just now I get to do this with you.
Same with a straight relationship. You know what I mean? Like if
there's
they were
no difference.
Yeah, if they were a straight relationship, would you be like, so yeah, cool, we can have threesomes right away? It's like, no, you wouldn't have said that right away, you know?
But you were kind of like in a love triangle at first too, like with Leo and Cassie, but then Cassie ended up choosing Leo. Did you think that she was 100% going to choose him, or did you feel like there was all this buildup, she was attracted to you, there might be a chance, or did you not know?
No, I knew. So our conversations, again, they were last. You know what I mean? We got to know each other last. I was getting to know Scott and Mattia, and they had more time with me. And maybe possibly if there was more time, maybe something. Yeah. But I was, feeling like we didn't have that much time. And so we didn't have that deep or strong of feelings versus Leo and her had a lot more time. And watching my conversations with her and then looking over, because you watch each other, Yeah. Watching her and Leo talk, I would just sit there and be like, not looking good for you, dog. Like, it's not looking good for you. Like, and you could just see like they had a much better connection at the time. And
they had more time. Like I feel like that with Emily for my season with Weston, they had more time because we didn't express interest until like closer to the, recoupling. Yeah. And then, I would look at them and I'm like, yep, she's definitely going with him, you know? But it was so funny to see the snippet of Cassie choosing Leo because it was like similar to my snippet of Emily choosing Weston. And my face was just like, I was hopeful, but I just knew. Yeah. And that's how your face looked too. Like,
I was like sitting there like, who are you? Like, I'm like, because you can't say for sure 1,000%, but I was just like sitting there going like, what is the decision going to be? Because, it was, for me, Scott was my number one in that recoupling because I knew. And I remember the producers asking me that, are you sure? And I was like, no, I'm sure. I was like, she's not picking me. So I was like, I'm not going to embarrass myself either. And I'm not going to pick somebody that doesn't want me to pick them. And so I remember like Scott was like saying too, like he was upset because it sounded like he was a second choice. So I was like, no, it wasn't, you were second choice. I was like, and he was like, well, why did you say that your feelings were hurt to Cassie when she chose Leo? And I was like, because they were hurt. I was like we're not. I was like, we all have feelings for each other. I was like, it's a weird situation.
Did you have strong feelings for Scott at that point, or you were still?
I was still all over the place because at the time I was feeling like, I was like, do you really like me, or are you just like trying to stay in here? And because he wouldn't choose anyone, like he wouldn't be clear about who he wanted to choose or who he was leaning towards more, like at all. He just kept saying, you're in my top 3, you're in my top 3, and I was like, what number am I?
He's interesting. He wasn't like in the show when I was on games with him, but I met him obviously outside, and he's a character.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, the bigger question is like, obviously you and Cassie, which I'll ask afterwards, but like after you left with Scott, because that's who you left with, was there like, did you guys try? Like he pretty quickly went on game, so it probably couldn't have lasted that long.
No, it lasted a little bit after games, and I don't have much to say on it, to be honest, just because it wasn't very nice. I mean, I wish him the life he deserves. I don't know. I said air it out. No, I don't care. No, like, if he's doing well or bad, I don't care about like anything like that. I don't have really any feelings towards it at all anymore. It was so long ago, but yeah, I think that, we didn't leave on the best of terms at all. Like we didn't end things on the best of terms. So,
but you
like,
did try when you left.
Yeah. So, we did try a little bit after we left, but it fizzled out like most things do, especially, he lives across the country. He's going on another dating show. It doesn't look pretty good. It doesn't look good when somebody's going on to another dating show.
You said, you're going back on TV for love. I guess this isn't working out.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe. I'm sitting there like, could possibly not work out if he does this.
Yeah. You think?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Was it hard to like know that he was going on a show?
Well, I found out when I got out of the show, I remember the producers being really weird with me, and then my therapist therapist was really being really weird with me. And then he was being really weird with me. And I was like, what is going on? Because the show is so different. Everyone's so like happy and like just so like loving with you. When I got out, I just felt like this cold shoulder, and like everyone was being really like short with me and very like to the point with me. And they were trying really hard to just get me in the van and go to my hotel room. And I was like,
you know, something's going on.
Yeah, I was like, my intuition was telling me, I was like, something's going on. And then, and again, I didn't watch Love Island. I didn't know about games. I didn't know games was a thing. Okay. Nobody told me.
It's new. We didn't know until
I didn't know.
It just happened
I didn't know
either.
it was a thing. Like I really didn't. And so when I was like, I didn't have any really inkling that about anything like that. And so I remember saying to everyone, I was like, is something going on? And nobody was saying, and even my therapist slipped me. And I said, hey, everyone's acting really weird with me. I was like, do you think like something's going on or whatever? And she's like, you're just being paranoid because you have so much feelings for this guy.
Reality TV is so messed up sometimes.
It's so messed up. I literally was like, oh, okay. She's like, yeah, your feelings are just strong for him and now you're getting anxious and this. And I was like, and so went back to the hotel room. I'm anxious as fuck because you don't
right now.
Yeah, you don't have your phone. You can't talk to anyone. And so I went back to my hotel room and my Wi-Fi wasn't working. So I was sitting there doing a puzzle and yeah, I wanted to just like kill myself because I was like, oh my God, like what is going on? Anyways, fast forward. We got to hang out with him the next day. And again, he was like being really weird. And I remember him saying like, I watched something on like the TV about you. And I was like, what? And he's like, I hacked the Fire Stick. So like I saw some clips and like we still hadn't gotten our phones back. Yeah. And so I'm anxious as fuck. I was like,
what did you see?
I was like, what did you see?
That's the worst thing to hear when you come out. I saw something.
Yeah, he's like, I saw something I didn't like. And I was like, what did you see? Like I was so anxious. I was like, is it gonna be like something that I did bad? Like what did they record me saying or doing about him, you know? And he literally pulls me aside. He's like, it was when like after their coupling you said that your feelings were hurt. Like Cassie chose Leo. And I was like, oh, well, yeah, they were hurt. Like I was like, yeah, my feelings
you said
were hurt.
I wasn't even your first choice either because all you're saying is you're in my top 3. So what?
So I would just remember I was like, yeah, my feelings were hurt. And I was like, and he's like, honestly, Johnnie, it's not even the worst. That's not even the thing we should be focusing on. And I was like, well, what is it? And he was like, he goes, come over here. And we go over and he's like, I'm going on games. And I was like, and
So this was still in Fiji?
In
you
Fiji.
guys just got out?
In Fiji, we just got out. And I was like, what are you saying? And I was like so confused. Like I literally just not hitting me. He's like, I'm staying in Fiji. And I was like, dude, was everything fake? I was like, was everything not real? And I start crying because I'm an emotional person, right? Yeah. I'm crying. I'm like sitting there crying. And granted, like he's not a heartless person. Like I do think that he's a good person, deep down.
But some people go into reality TV for different reasons.
Yeah. And he consoled me and was like, oh my God, like this is like hurting me to see you hurt, like this and that. He got teary-eyed too, where he was just like really, we're both so emotional. And he was like, I remember him saying something like, I'm selling my, happiness, or I'm selling for something. He's like, for money or something like that. And I was like, so was this all fake? And he was like, no. And he's like, it wasn't fake. Like, he's like, it's real. Like, he's like, I'm so serious. Like that. I really do care about you. I really do like you, this and that. And, I just remember being like, well, do I go back to my hotel? Like, what do I do? And he's like, that's completely up to you. He's like, but I just want you to know that like, I really do care about you. Throughout the night, I was like really bummed out. And I remember Kyle and Destiny kind of consoling me. And Destiny too came up to me and was like, are you crying? Like, she's like, I knew. She's like, I knew he was going. Like, she's like, I didn't want to say anything. She's like, I thought you kind of knew. And I was like, no. And he came over and he bought me some drinks and he was just like, let's have the best time while we're out here. He's like, I don't want you to be sad. I don't want you to feel like a certain way. And I was like, okay. We were drinking on the rooftop and I was sloshed and happy. I was like, I don't care that you're going on games. Like, fuck it. Like,
I mean, you're already coming out of a show and this experience that kind of mentally just puts your whole world and tosses it around. Yeah. And then you start to have feelings for a guy and then you find out that he's going on a dating show again. That's hard.
Yeah.
I would get drunk that night too and get in my feels and all that.
Yeah. And, the rest of our time in Fiji, it felt like we were like a full blown relationship. Like that's what it felt like. The holding hands, the kissing on the forehead, the like cuddling, the, we went to like a shopping center and we were
How
just
long
like,
were you out together?
Just like 3 days. So it was like just like 3 like days of just being like, talking about our feelings, talking about everything, like literally just so deep conversations that we couldn't have on camera. And I got to know him so much better, and I think that's when the feelings for me grew a lot more. And I just kept saying, like, I was like, are you sure you want to like try things after like this and that? And he's like, I'm sure if you're sure. And of course, like we were like, let's not do anything while you're on games, let's wait till like after.
Wow. So you were like, if you don't meet someone, like,
we were both on the same page of like, if we don't meet somebody and you go on games and you don't, he's like, I can take a non-romantic role. And then he went on games and he obviously did find someone during the games.
Courtney?
Yeah.
Who was he with? You didn't watch it. Why am I asking you?
I think
it was Courtney.
Yeah, he was coupled with Courtney, and which was fine. Like I was like, you know, I wasn't with anyone while he was on games. Like I didn't talk to anyone. Like I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't date anyone because I was kind of hopeful, you know, that things would work out. And you know, I didn't hear from him after the game, so you know, it just didn't.
Did he ghost you?
Yeah, he tried to, and then you know, he had some belongings of mine that I was like, hey, I don't care that like, you know, if you met someone, whatever, I was like, just, I need these belongings that were really, really personal to me. And I won't get too much into that, but, you know, he never gave them back. And it put a really, really sour taste in my mouth towards him. And that's where we kind of ended things. Because I feel like we could have ended things as friends, because I'm friends with like all my exes. Like I'm friends with everyone, you know? I mean, look at Cassie and I. Like, we're the best of friends.
No, and that's what I want to get into too. I mean, that's all not good. Like I said, once again, reality TV guys, it's scary.
It's like a really like a hit from reality. Like you just get hit in the face with reality of like what life is like, and especially in this industry and stuff like that. But yeah, I just feel like I don't have any anger towards him now. I don't have any feelings towards him. I don't have anything. Like I think, you know, I've been pretty quiet about everything since the show ended.
Terms.
But we don't speak or anything. I think I follow him on Instagram. I support him from afar. And I don't know what he's doing in life right now, but like yeah, like I don't have any like hateful feelings towards him or anything. I think that's just the way we ended things was just not the greatest. That was it. Like I think it just could have been so much healthier with just communication. Like, hey, this is where I'm at. This is where you're at. Let's just like be friends, and we could have been friends. You know?
Yeah, if he just communicated and wasn't. I'm not gonna call anyone names, but I wasn't there. But from what you're saying, that just doesn't sound like a nice thing that he did.
Yeah.
You know? But
no, it was really. I remember once like things were ending, the things that he did like really did hurt me like so bad. Like I was crying all day. Like I was like, this is somebody that like cared about me and did something really hurtful towards me, and it really hits you that it's like it doesn't matter, like this is just gonna happen in life, you know, and especially this industry. No,
I even remember when I went through my breakup with my ex from Loveisland, people were like, well, what did you expect? It's a show. And it's like, it is the gamble. Like some people go in for different reasons, and some people go in and you truly think you're gonna find someone, and intentions can be different, and that's like what's really scary about going on reality TV and dating people. But it's still like such a thing that if it's an opportunity that happens, you want to take it, and you want to think like on the positive side, and that people are going to treat you with respect. So when they don't, it's like, damn, I feel dumb now, you know. But aside from Scott, Cassie. So the biggest question when I asked fans what they wanted to know, they ship you guys so hard. Did anything happen or grow from like leaving the show, or did you guys immediately kind of just become friends?
There was like little things, but I think that, you know, it was just more so like her and I were on the same page of like, we're single, we could do whatever we want with whoever we want, and there's no pressure. But there is a lot of pressure on Cassie and I. So I think that honestly, like overall, we just feel like there's a better friendship than a relationship. And honestly, I would never ever want to lose her as a friend. So like I would never want to ruin things like that either with her. But
you don't know, once maybe pressure lays off, which it really doesn't, still from my season, and that was 5 years ago almost now. People still push me, and Emily, the girl that I was talking to, but you never know, friendship can grow into something more sometimes.
And like
obviously
we like, we know we're the same people. We flirt all the time. We do these things like you know, I'm like we you know, and so I always like, I'm all stumbling. I'm like,
I mean, it sounds like you're still maybe a little like, but
no,
but
I love her so much, and she's somebody that's just like always gonna be in my life, and we just work better as friends. And there is so much history that it's like, how do you even do anything from there? But we just work better as friends, and you know, it's gotten to the point where like we talk to each other about other people. You know what I mean?
It sounds like you kind of help her out too on now her new journey of being out.
So honestly, I'm so proud of her with like her journey with like her sexuality and being comfortable, and like she has the most supportive family, the most supportive friends. Like even her mom, I met her mom, and she's so sweet. She gave me a Christmas present. She's
so you guys became really good friends.
That's I met her mom, and she's just the sweetest, most supportive woman. Like, and I remember we were eating with like her and her mom, and Cassie and I were just like laughing and having fun. And she's giving us advice on dating. And she was like, you know, if you guys are dating people, like, you know, don't fall for the fireworks. She's like, you're gonna get like, you know, confused and stuff like that. She's like, don't get so excited about someone just doing all these oohs and ahs for you.
Yeah.
And she's giving us advice. And then she was like, she said something like, because you and Cassie, she's like, I'm just so happy that you guys found each other. And she goes, you guys are like sisters. And
God.
And Cassie and I look at each other and start laughing. And her mom goes,
we've done things that sisters don't do.
Her mom goes, okay, wait. She goes, and if you guys are dating, I support it. If you guys are doing anything, I support. I just want you to know you're loved, you're supported. And she's like, I don't mean to make it into me and Cassie are just like, no, it's just funny. And she was like, I just want you to know how like I support you either way, which I think is so amazing that she has that. So I think like if Cassie were to date somebody in the future that is a woman, I feel like she's gonna have so much support that's gonna make it so much easier for her, which a lot of people don't have. You know, it makes them like, it deters them a little bit from like that path. You know,
well, I've seen you guys hang out and like do trips or something that I saw on I think your TikTok. So it wouldn't be weird with you, like your friends, if she started dating a girl and she's like, come on a trip with us. That wouldn't be weird.
I think that no, like I think I don't know. I think things will just have to like gradually, because anyone that I've talked to, and I haven't really talked to many people since the show ended, but like I've been really clear that like, you know, I'm friends with a lot of people that I've been with, you know, like especially because of the show, you know, and our cast is very incestual, you know, and I have to like make sure that's okay with them, and also find a good ground, I guess you could say, with what's comfortable with them and what's comfortable with me. But I don't think I would ever be able to lose my friendship with Cassie for someone, and I vice versa. So hopefully, but like I don't know that it would have to just come down to that, like, you know, that road, you know. But I feel like with men, I don't feel like they get as intimidated, a little bit, but with women, I do feel like it would bother someone if me and Cassie were always going on trips and you know what I mean, and like going out and like having our thing, and like I think it would bother someone. So
but it wouldn't bother you, I guess, is like
if we were on a trip with her and a girl.
I
don't know, I guess I would have to see. I haven't seen her with a girl, you know,
besides you.
So I don't know, but I don't think so. I think that we've gotten to a point where, but then again, I don't know, I'm such a lover and such a like feeler, like I feel everything, and I'm a jealous person. I pretend like I'm not, like I'm like, oh my god, that's so cool, that's so sick,
but you are.
But then I'm like sitting at home, I'm like,
I mean, I think it's an Aries thing. Like I said, my first girlfriend, Aries, and it was definitely like, like if a guy looked at me and we were at a bar, she'd be like, fuck, and I'm like, you're like, that's not me though.
You know, no.
Oh,
like,
she's like, no,
that's not me. That's not me. But like with men, I'm a little bit less jealous.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I remember I was talking to someone right out of the show, and we were like non-exclusive, and I remember him saying like, yeah, you know, you do your thing, I do my thing, and I was like, cool. That whole time, I remember somebody asking me like, don't you get like do you get sick to your stomach thinking about? And I'm like, no. No. But like with girls, I feel like a little bit more,
you're more territorial.
Maybe it's just more like, I don't know why in my head, not even territorial, that's not the jealous, it's more so like, why not me? Like, why aren't you flirting with me like that? Or why aren't you like with that with me? Or like, I feel like, I don't know, I get more like that kind of.
Do you feel like you're obviously very femme, but like, do you feel like you have more of the masculine energy in a relationship with a girl? Like you're like,
and that's why I also feel like it's hard for me to find a relationship with a woman, because every time that I, you know, talk to a feminine woman, they're not masculine energy, and I need that. I need somebody that's not gonna let me like walk all over them, because
I always say that.
Yeah, I'm so dominant in a relationship. I'm so dominant, and I will, and it's not on purpose. It's not on purpose for my future soulmate. It's not on purpose. Okay. I don't mean to. It's genetic almost. Like it is. It's like built into your bloodstream, like that. You're just like, all right, I'll take the reins. Like I will be, you know, alpha. I'll be, you know, the leader. But it's not on purpose. And I would love somebody to not put me in my place, but like, you know,
but match you with that energy.
Yeah. Like kind of be like, no, I don't like that. Yeah. No, you're not going to say that. Or, no, you're not going to do that. And I'm like,
because honestly, when they do that, you're like,
yeah, I literally am like, oh okay.
Ew, we're very alike. This is weird. So then you're like talking to your future partner. So you're not with someone right now?
No. No. No.
Are you dating?
I haven't been on a date in a very long time. I was talking to just one person, and you know, it was this guy that didn't live anywhere near me, so couldn't really go on dates per se. And so after that, and then I also, you know, I downloaded some dating apps, right?
Yeah, Hinge. We already talked about it. Love
No,
Hinge.
not Hinge. Yeah, and Blush.
I've heard of Blush.
Tried Blush.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it good for the girlies?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So then even more though, like you did Love Island.
So I didn't do Hinge again because I felt like I don't know why. Oh no, I know why. It's because I feel like it's gonna be the same as my DMs, where it's gonna be a lot of people that know me from the show that are gonna be like, oh, I would be gay for you.
Yeah. So
You know
what's
what I
the
mean?
difference with Blush?
With Blush, it's more so like it's kind of like Raya.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a lot more people that like
Are in the industry.
yeah. already that you know that aren't just gonna date you just to date you. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a hit or miss or whatever.
Yeah. You know.
But yeah, so those dating apps I feel like are a big one, but at the same time I haven't been on them either. I would like to meet someone organically.
Yeah.
That's the goal. But how am I supposed to do that? I don't even go out.
In this
I don't leave my
I feel you. But in this day and age, it's like you meet people through DMs, like IRL, like literally.
Oh, yeah.
It's not you go into a coffee shop and someone approaches you anymore. But like I'm just at fault for it too, because like I will not walk up to someone if I think that they're cute.
No.
I literally made a TikTok that went viral like a couple weeks ago where I was like, I just saw this hot farmer's man. Can you guys find him? Like, what the was I doing? You know? But like that's our day and age where it's just so hard to do stuff in person.
Yeah.
And especially if you're a homebody. Like I Instacart. I don't even go to the grocery store.
And when I do, I look like I don't care. I'm like, I'm going to the grocery store, you know?
Like
yeah. No, I was like, damn, how am I supposed to meet anyone? Like, you know, and on social media, that's the only way you can really meet somebody now. It's this vicious, sick cycle of you guys follow each other, right? You guys follow each other. You're like, oh, cool. You know, we followed each other. I could see him right away. Like, I'm like, all right, this is somebody I'm into. They like your story, you like their story, you do that back and forth thing for like sometimes it's like a month, and I'm like, bro, DM me already.
Ask me out.
Yeah,
literally.
Because if I'm liking your story, I want you to DM me. It's not just for flirts. I don't like.
I'm doing it on purpose.
I'm telling
to
you,
get
it's
your
on
attention.
purpose. I'm telling you, I've never done it. I've never done it where
Yeah.
I'm liking your story and it's just for funsies. Like I'm telling you right now. Like if I'm liking your stories,
if Johnnie likes your story, she likes you. She wants you to ask her out.
Exactly. And yeah, and it goes back and forth for like a month or two or whatever, and then you kind of get sick of it, and then finally someone DMs you, but it's like something kind of small.
Yeah.
And then
breadcrumbing.
Yeah, it's breadcrumbing, and you're just like so slow. It's such a slow startup. I want you to DM me and be like, I'm so in love with you. Tell me I want the first DM to be like, I'm so in love with you.
Yeah.
Have my babies. Like,
oh my
you know.
Gosh. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm crazy.
Yeah.
No, but I feel that so much because I feel like I'm in that too right now. Just like you try to show someone stuff, but it's even harder with girls because it's like, who is going to take the lead? You know, like, a guy for sure. It's like, you're going to have to DM me first. You're going to have to ask me out. Girls, it's hard sometimes because it's like, I don't know if you like me like that or if you're just being really friendly. Like if I should hit you up, if I shouldn't.
The friendly part.
The friendly part. It's so hard.
They DM you and they're like heart eyes, and you're like, thanks.
Is it heart eyes like that?
Yeah.
Or
And I'm like, thanks. You're so pretty. You're so this. And then they're like, thanks, girly. And I'm like,
oh yeah, they hit you with a girl. You're like, absolutely not. I'm done now.
Yeah.
Well, damn. Okay, so we're obviously still looking for love, but you said organically. Would you go on? Say they hit you up for Love Island games.
I would.
You would.
I would.
Oh.
I
okay.
would with a different mindset, but I would. I'd probably look stupid again, but.
So you wouldn't go on for love.
No, I would. I would go on for
Oh.
love, but I would have a different mindset in the sense of like being less naive. I will say, even though Scott and I ended on like bad terms or whatever, he did help me open my eyes a lot to certain things in that industry. And I respected that he went on. I would never, if I was in his position, stay with the person and not go on games. Like, I think he made the right decision.
So you would have
like,
done the same thing.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing.
You
I
would
was
have communicated better.
Yeah, I would have
about
never
it,
been, I was never mad at him for going on games.
Yeah.
And I was going to support him from afar. I wasn't going to watch it either way, but I was going to support him from afar. That was never the reason why.
It was the communication.
Yeah, it was the communication, the lack of communication.
Yeah.
Some stuff just could have been handled better.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I was, even if I was talking to somebody right now, and I didn't see that we were gonna be like married or anything, yeah, I would go on.
Yeah, no, and as you should, because you never want to like look back and then be like, fuck, it was a relationship that wasn't even fully something that I was into, and I just, no, that's definitely the right decision. But
Cassie and I talked about it. We'd both go on.
So do you think that if you and Cassie went on that you would look into pursuing stuff more, or you would just kind of stay in that friend place?
We don't know. We've talked about that. We literally have talked about that. We literally talked about that. Like, it's like, it's come up like we're just like laughing and joking about it, but yeah, we don't know.
I think they're gonna
because the situation would be so different. Like we're compacted again. We're like, you know, we're forced to kind of get to know each other on that level again. But like, yeah, because I see Cassie like every now and then. We FaceTime very often, but it's very friendly. You know what I mean? Like she's one of my best friends and somebody I want to talk to all the time, you know? But yeah, we've talked about that. We're like, if we go in games, like who knows? You know, who knows?
You don't know.
You don't know.
You never know. And I was going to ask like from other seasons, who would you want, but you didn't watch other seasons.
I did watch season 4. And anyone that I've seen that I've had like I'm like interested in, I have talked to. I have like tested it out a little bit, not
from
everyone.
Season 4.
Season 4
or just
too.
people from Love Island.
Just people from Love Island I've seen a little bit. Like if they've DM'd me, because I've never DM'd anyone. I won't. I have a perfect record. I've only DM'd one person in my life. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
You said that you're the one that's kind of like. Oh no. But you're like no.
Oh, I'm alpha, but they need to come to me.
I
can't.
Even if it's a girl.
My ego like can't afford it. No, even if it's a girl, and that's what my problem is.
Okay,
I am the villain in my own story. Like I am ruining my love life. So I have talked to some other Islanders. Yeah. But it was never anything that like reached anything serious, and like honestly, it just wasn't. Like I was like, oh, we'd be better as friends. Like you know. But yeah, I've talked to some other Islanders, and now I'm really cool with them. You know, like I said, I'm such good friends with like, and maybe that's not the best thing for like my future partner, but like I am really good friends with a lot of people I've been with because I don't have those harboring feelings anymore. Like those feelings are gone because I'm like, oh, it didn't work out. They're not my person. I don't have those type of feelings for them anymore. And I can respect it. Like I can be like, and I don't have those feelings for them either where I get jealous either. So, you know.
If I DM you, am I getting girly back?
Yeah, no.
She said, oh my God, you put me on the spot. I'm just Look at you. Look at you.
I don't.
I'm dead. I mean, you said I dressed kind of femme today. I'm not in my like masculine mode. She said, I need to sit my...
Right now.
I'm dead.
Look at my
no! Take a breath. Oh my God. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
So am I getting girly back?
No.
I am dying right now. Well, maybe I'll get bold one day and DM Miss Johnnie over here. You never know. She can't breathe.
I've literally.
Oh my God.
This is wine.
Okay, and we're gonna probably have some more wine after this. But on that note. But anyways, no, I feel like in general going into reality TV, obviously it didn't burn you enough because you're like, yeah, I would be down to go again. And I always feel the same. I always say like my last show is my last show.
Would you go on again?
Love Island Games?
Would you go on like games again or?
Do you want me to go on?
Would you go on? I'm like, I'm like, would you go on or like?
That's a good question. I always say I don't know. And then I'm like, yeah. So maybe I just feel like it would be kind of like overplayed because I've been on so many dating shows. And I'm like, why would they? True, he's beat me in the dating shows. Yeah. I've been on more shows than him, but not all of them have been dating shows. And you know what?
And after all that, Scott, get your bag. Honestly, get your bag. At the end of the day, do what's best for you.
Do what's best for you.
You know?
That's all that you can do. But yeah, reality TV is a wild ride that once again, it's like you have to stay connected with people that are in it sometimes because no one else has experienced like what we've experienced. And unfortunately, like the USA is like one of the only ones that like no one's last outside. Like none of the
I don't know any of the characters. So
oh no.
The characters.
No, the characters. We are Sims. No, I think it was another girl named Kyra and her guy are still together.
From our season, the one couple that I for sure know are gonna last is Carmen and Kenzo.
Are they the winners?
No, they're not the winners.
Oh.
They're friends of mine, but being around them is so depressing because they're so in love. Aww. It's so sickening. Like watching Kenzo take care of Carmen like just on a night out. It makes me look for someone like that. Like it makes me look for someone that loves Carmen as much as he loves her and as much as Carmen loves Kenzo. Carmen would talk to me just about you know, because she's never really been in like a serious relationship, and she would talk to me about it because I've been in them, you know, and she would tell me like, I don't know, like, you know, if this is normal for me to feel like this or that, like, even if she was like having concerns about like, and it was the smallest things, and I'd be like, I'm like, that is so normal. I'm so nervous. I'm like, that is
now I'm just having fun with you. You're making it way too easy at this point. No, but it is hard, and like that makes me happy because I do believe that in these shows you can find someone. And yeah, my brother's telling me now though that we have to wrap it up. He said, but no, I'm hoping that I didn't freak you out. But I'm so happy that you
I wore
came
black
on.
for a reason. You can't see sweat through black.
But no, I'm so happy you came on. I feel like we had such similar experiences on this show, and I also think like I'm proud of us for being open about our sexuality and bringing that visibility, because all of these hetero shows that have been done the same way for so many freaking years, it's like so many people like us don't feel like they are seen on TV. And that's just something that with this podcast, with everything that I do, I'm trying to change. So yeah, like
I didn't
I'm proud
think
of
it like that. I really didn't. Like when I was in there, I really didn't think of that at all. Like I didn't think of representation. I don't think of like anyone's, and honestly, I didn't really think anyone would like it. Like I was like, probably not gonna like it. America, you know. And coming out and seeing like how many people DM me and were so supportive, and then two, there were so many people that were like, I felt so included, like I felt so good, you know, thank you so much, it meant so much. Like I did not realize it would mean that much. And you know, because for me I was like, it's another day, you know.
No, I think it's overwhelming because I didn't expect that either when I came out. I didn't think it would be anything, and it is intense when so many people are like coming out to you or just saying that like you allowed them to see a part of themselves or feel comfortable with themselves. And I'm more used to it now, but it would always make me like cry when I would talk about it, like that first year of it happening. Because I felt like that watching these shows. Like I grew up watching The Bachelor with my mom, and I just never saw anyone like me. And it made me feel like I couldn't be on these shows, or I couldn't just be like someone in the society that was like being fully myself, or that I would be judged and all those different things. So I gave it to Love Island for not allowing, because that's a weird word, but just like bringing more visibility as seasons go on. And whether it's more Black girls, more people in the queer community, I would love a bisexual guy at some point. Like that would be amazing.
Crazy.
Yeah, but it's needed, and I want it to happen more and more. But I'm so thankful that you came on, and I'm so happy that you were open about everything that you went through, and maybe you guys will see her in Love Island Games with Cassie or me. But alrighty,
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy
if you both were on there.
And then if they bring Emma,
crazy.
And then if they bring on Emily, my girl for my season.
I've never seen Emily.
She's more fiery than both of us, so that would be just, maybe it wouldn't even be a, what's it called? Not a triangle,
I can't
but a
even
square.
tell you
It'd be a square.
how many people would like just want to watch that, like that. And just
I'm saying that they need to make a queer
chaotic
version.
It's
like,
chaotic.
They need to make a bi season.
Yeah.
That would be insane. Like in general, women dating women, people are always like, oh, it must be so much easier. I'm like, it's actually a lot more messy. It really is. Emotions, those love triangles of like three. Oh my God, it'd be insane. No.
And
it'd
then
just be a lot of emotions.
Yeah, I feel like
it'd be a lot, but it'd be great TV.
A lot of flirting.
Lots of flirting.
A lot of flirting.
But anyways, and how do we end this amazing podcast?
Thank you for having coffee with Kyra.
Thank you, Johnnie.